Alright, hey guys, Wefes here and welcome to another episode of Hearthstone One Night in KARAZHAN card review. We've got a whole bunch of cards that were released over on the live stream yesterday. Unfortunately, I did not have the time to review them then, but I'm here now. Let's begin. So first card, we're going from the smallest mana cost to the highest mana cost, right? So the first one we have is Arcane Anomaly. It's a neutral card, 1 mana 2/1, and the text is whenever you cast a spell, give this minion +1 health. So a possible combo would be to play Arcane Anomaly as well as Mirror Entity. Sometimes it might be even better if you're turn 1 and you're actually going second and you're gonna play Arcane Anomaly, coin into Mirror Entity, and that makes it a 2/3. So that is considerably better than what it's supposed to be, because if you are turn 1 and you only have 1 mana, you go first, then this is not good. Mana Worm is strictly better because it's a 1/3 stat wise and it grows in terms of attack instead of just health, right? So some comparisons of a 2/1 would be things like Fiery Bat, which does something when it dies. Selfless Hero does something when it dies. Twilight Whelp, people usually don't play it naked simply because it sucks. So if you play Arcane Anomaly naked, it's kind of sucky. You need to play a spell alongside it. There are not many spells that you can try and cast it on turn 1 or even turn 2, so I'm not sure if it's good enough. Next we have Buccaneer. Buccaneer actually helps you get a 2 damage dagger, which is quite good. Pit Snake, yeah, it does something when it hits something. Abusive Sergeant gives 2 damage. Tournament Attendee, it actually taunts, so it's still good. So the list goes on. There's a whole bunch of 2-drops, even things like the Stealth Wolf. Yeah, I think those are better. So this one, not so much. I don't really see many chances of this working properly. When you look at all the other cards, you don't really need a prerequisite before the card becomes good. Of course, South Sea Deckhand is the only exception, but it has charge, right? Charge is always good. So yeah, Arcane Anomaly, not sold. 2 out of 10. Next we have Runic Egg. How do you kill it, right? That's the first thing I want to ask. It's a 1 mana 0/2 Death Rattle, draw a card. Alright, first and foremost, it's a Death Rattle card. Finally, N'Zoth decks get even more value, I guess. But seriously, how do you kill it? If you're a mage, you can ping it twice. It's not that good. I mean, when you might want to compare it with the Nerubian Egg previously, right? Nerubian Egg was a 2 mana 0/2 and it summoned a 4/4, right? And that was insane. Everybody saw play. This egg is annoying against AoE, but I don't see it being played very often, right? Okay, sure, we can talk about Unearthed Raptor in N'Zoth Rogues. You can try and do that, and you might be able to draw a card. I know it's annoying against people who like to play AoE, right? There's so many other 1-drops out there that can allow you to draw a card without a prerequisite of killing the egg. So while it may be annoying, it's not annoying enough for people to think like, I really don't want to kill that egg, right? If it was the Nerubian Egg, people might be thinking, I don't want to kill that egg. It gives them a 4/4, which is really strong, right? But if you have a Runic Egg on the board and they cast the AoE and kills it, it's like, sure, you can have a card, like whatever. So it's not that good. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Next we have Swashburglar. Swashburglar, right? It's a 1 mana 1/1 rogue card. Battlecry, add a random class card to your hand from your opponent's class. So this one is somewhat of a burgle, but it's a 1 mana. So it's when you look at rogue cards now, you have a 1 mana burgle, you have a 2 mana sort of burgle because it's Undercity Huckster, and since people don't really run silence nowadays, Undercity Huckster is also another burgle. So you have 2 cards, and turn 3 you can burgle again, so you can get a lot of cards, and it's somewhat like building up to an Ethereal Peddler deck, right? So if you Ethereal Peddler it and then you get your cards discounted, it's really good. Swashburglar also works with Brand. When you play Brand and then you play Swashburglar at turn 4, you get 2 cards, right? So basically it's a burgle for free. So it's pretty good. And since Swashburglar is a pirate, we might be able to see more pirate decks coming out from Rogue. Still unlikely, simply because of the fact that Blade Flurry was nerfed into Oblivion. So unlikely, and once again, because of the RNG of getting other people's cards, you don't know what class they are from, you don't know what cards you're getting, it's a little bit dangerous, but since it's a 1 mana card draw, we really can't complain. So the score line would be half, 5 out of 10. Compare this with this, alright? There's no comparison. right? This is significantly better because you don't need to have a prerequisite in order to get the card. Alright, so yeah, Swashburglar, good card. Spirit Claws, it's a 1 mana, 1 free Shaman card, and it's not a minion, it's a weapon, right? It's a weapon, so it has +2 attack when you have spell damage. So basically, if you're playing Shamans and you have Spirit Claws, you definitely want to run a lot of spell power minions, things like a No-Take Candle, Blood Mage Thalnos, and sometimes you might even be able to use your spell power totem, right? But the only thing I have, the only problem I have about this card is that Shamans already have a very strong deck, and it's called the Totem Mid-Range Totem Aggro deck, and you really don't need Spirit Claws there. You really don't. Like, why would you need Spirit Claws to trade when you have Totem Golem to help you trade for you? There is literally no point. And if you do not have spell damage, then it becomes a 1 free. I guess it's fine. No, not so fine, because Warriors have a better 1 mana 1 free, right? Yeah, Warriors have a better 1 mana 1 free. The Pirate Medivh weapon, the Rusty Hook. So yeah, you really want to milk the value out of this card, and I really don't see Shamans running spell power decks at all. Not yet anyway, until the Whispers fades out, or maybe until Tashka Totemic fades out, because right now Shamans really have way too many strong cards, and there is literally no need for Spirit Claws to even be in the deck. So it's still viable, but I don't see it working. Score 4 out of 10. Next, we have a Hunter Secret, 2 mana Cat Trick. Secret, after your opponent casts a spell, summon a 4/2 Panther with Stealth. So basically it's the Panther, the 4/2 Stealth Panther. Basically this is kind of a counter to a lot of spellcasters like Mage, Rogue, and Druids, right? Nowadays Druids run a lot of spells as well because of Yogg-Saron. So basically all the Yogg-Saron decks need to be careful. Actually even Hunters need to be careful because they don't know when this Panther might come out. And to be fair, there are way too many Hunter secrets out there to play around. Sometimes people can catch you off guard by using Misdirect, can catch you off guard by playing Snipe and Dart Trap. So adding Cat Trick to the mix is actually making Hunters quite dangerous, and you really want to see Cat Trick being played in things like Yogg-Saron, Lock and Load Hunters, and the Stealth Beast itself is actually quite OP, right? Nowadays you see a lot of Hunters playing Stranglethorn Tiger simply because of the stealth component, and basically they just keep a stealth beast on the board so that they can trigger things like Ram Wrangler, they can trigger things like a kill command on the fly, and they don't need to worry about the tiger dying because it's stealth, and most AoEs cannot clear it. I mean, even with Flame Strike, the tiger survives. For this 4/2 Panther, yeah, maybe it might be cleared by AoE, but still it's a 2 health, so Warriors have a hard time clearing it. Shamans that run Lightning Storm can clear it, but if a Shaman is running Lightning Storm, he's actually losing out in tempo, so you might be able to beat him in terms of that, so that's good. So, of course, since it's a secret, it dies to Eater of Secrets, but let's be real, nobody's gonna play Eater of Secrets, not yet anyway, I don't think so. Not even with the release of the next few cards that I'm gonna talk about. But it dies to things like Consecrate and Blizzard, which is not happy times. I mean, if people play around Cat Trick and they realize, hey, I have a whole board full of 2 health creatures, let's play Consecrate now, and you're kinda screwed. But usually not so much, because it says after your opponent casts a spell. So sometimes if someone wants to clear the board and then suddenly your Cat Trick procs, your 4/2 will appear after a Consecrate, for example. So it might be some kind of way to try and refill the board in that sense. So yeah, pretty good if you think about it that way, right? If your opponent tries to clear the board and then Cat Trick, pretty good. So yeah, it has synergy with Cloaked Huntress, which is a card that I will be reviewing later. Cloaked Huntress basically makes all your secrets cost 0. Really good. So it's a discount too. Score 6 out of 10 because there's a stealth component in the card. Maelstrom Portal. It's a 2 mana spell, Shaman spell, and it deals 1 damage to all enemy minions and summons a random 1 cost minion. Alright, Maelstrom Portal is something like a better Arcane Explosion for Shamans, and it's good definitely against Zoo and Moros, because if people actually are crazy enough to play Moros, then Maelstrom Portal is really good. Of course, all shamans have the ability to summon a spell power totem, so at turn 4 if you hero power and you're really lucky to get your air totem, then playing Maelstrom Portal after that is just so OP. It's like a 4 mana consecrate with a totem on the board, as well as getting a random 1 cost minion. The only problem about a random 1 cost minion is that there are a lot of bad 1 cost minions out there, and this is one of them. Okay, yeah, but we also have like Injured Caldeer is one of the best, Flame Imp another one of the best, the others not so much. All the 1/1s are not good, including Swashburglar, right? Swashburglar is a 1/1 as well, and it's not good enough. So yeah, that's a Maelstrom Portal for you. It's kind of risky to play it, but the effect itself, it's already an Arcane Explosion, right? So I wouldn't complain so much. 6 out of 10 for AoE clear, especially with synergy of the air totem, the spell power totem. Pretty good card. Next, we have Medivh's Valet. It's a 2 mana 2/3 with mage card that battle cry if you control a secret, deal free damage. So first and foremost, is this the new Blackwing Corruptor? But because basically this card is technically 5 mana as well. And because secrets are 5 mana, you cannot play this in turn 2 unless you really have no choice. So the question is, do you really want to play a 5 mana 2/3 when your Blackwing Corruptor is a 5 mana 5/4? I don't think so. I don't think it's good. I mean, even though you are playing a secret and the secret persists across the board, the course of the game, right? What kind of secrets are you gonna play exactly? Currently, the only mage deck that plays secrets is the Freeze Mage, which is still Ice Barrier, sometimes Counterspell, but most of the time Ice Block. So Ice Barrier, Counterspell, Ice Block. And you're playing Medivh's Valet. So basically you're healing for 8 on trying to prevent yourself from dying, and then you deal free damage. I don't think this is good enough. Mages already have some really staple 2-drops that are used across all mage decks, like your Sorcerer's Apprentice. Someday I'll be just like you. And you also have the Cult Sorcerer, right? The Sparkle Sunshine Girl. So there are just way too many good 2-drops out there for this to be relevant, and mages really want to play more spells instead of minions. So I don't see this being a very good card. 4 out of 10, not so good. Okay, I'm just gonna let you guys read the text right here because this is one of the best cards in the world, and I will not say anymore. Truth be told, it has synergy. I actually tried to dig up reasons to play this card. I tried so hard to dig up reasons, and even if you're talking about Ancient Watcher or the Watchman, it's still not good enough, right? Because priests run Resurrect as well, and when you resurrect an Ancient Watcher, you need to silence it again, which is nonsense, right? The only viable option for you to actually want to silence your own minion is when you play Barnes, and you get a pretty good card that is 1/1, and you need to silence it, so it becomes not so good again, even though you retain the stat line. You know what I mean? Like, if it summons a Confessor Peltress of 4/1/1, and then you have to silence Confessor Peltress, then what's the point, right? So, yeah, it's really bad card. If I could give it a negative score, I would, alright? I really would. But enough of this card. Blizzard just hates priests. Next, we have Cloaked Huntress. It's a 3 mana 3/4. I mentioned this earlier. And yeah, it's a hunter card, and it basically says if you have a secret, you can play it for free. So, secret hunters incoming? I don't see it likely, because it's not like hunters have Mysterious Challenger, right? If hunters have Mysterious Challenger, they would play that instead of playing this. But Cloaked Huntress, making secrets cost 0 is pretty much the same as mad scientist on crack, right? But the only thing that I have a problem with for this card is that it's not a beast. So hunters really want all their minions to be beasts, such that they have all the beast synergy in the world in order to be able to pull off a lot of beast shenanigans, right? So I look at all the secrets that hunters have in standard right now. We have Bear Trap, we have Dart Trap, we have Explosive Trap, Freezing Trap, Snake Trap, Snipe, Misdirection, and Cat Trick. Is it possible for Yogg-Saron hunters to play all of these traps? I am not too sure. I mean, it is possible. I guess it is, but I wouldn't play all these traps. Like, the maximum number of secrets you can play is also 5, right? So, not so. But you already get value with the stat line. So I wouldn't complain about this card. Like, you play this card, and then if you have a secret like Freezing Trap, you can play it. It's good, just that it's not a beast, so it's not that good. 7 out of 10 is generous, I guess. Next, we have a Deadly Fork. It's a 3 mana, 3/2 rogue card. Death Rattle, add a 3/2 weapon to your hand. So basically, it's a good addition to the N'Zoth rogue deck, and it really helps your rogues get through early game, right? People actually don't want to kill Deadly Fork, and Deadly Fork will be able to trade up to many other minions, right? Because free damage can actually kill off quite a good number of minions early game. And you know, N'Zoth rogues always have a problem with early game, right? They kind of like they have their Undercity Huckster, and then turn 3 is like, what do they actually play, right? This is actually a pretty good free drop for rogues to play, and with a Fiery War Axe in their hand, it's really good as well. So rogues need more healing to make this work, I guess, because you're still using face to hit your enemy. Remember when I said rogues don't really like to play weapons anymore? This is technically a minion and weapon hybrid, so I think it's still gonna be playable. And you might want to compare it with the other one, right? The Arafi Blacksmith from Warrior. It's a 4 mana 3/3 that gives your warrior a 2/2 immediately. This one is a Death Rattle. It's slightly better because it makes people not want to clear it. So I think this is actually pretty good for rogue. Next, we have Nightbane Templar. It's a 3 mana 2/3 paladin card, and battle cry, if you're a dragon, you're holding a dragon, summon 2 1/1 whelps. So basically, this is the new Doctor 3. Paladins are more likely to play dragons now. Remember the time when I talked about the historic, the one that discovers a dragon, and if paladins play that card, they are more likely to discover dragon consort, right? So basically, Blizzard is actually trying to push paladins back to the dragon paladin genre, and I think it's actually pretty good. 3 mana with a total of a 4/5 stat line is actually really good. So even though the Hearthstone stream showed the Murloc and Dragon Paladin, I still think the Murloc Dragon and Beast decks are just too greedy, so I think it works better with Netherspite Historian, and yeah, we might be able to see Dragon Paladins come back into the meta, which is encouraging. I actually liked playing Dragon Paladin, so yeah, we'll see. Next, we have Pantry Spider. Nothing much to say about this card. We can compare it with like the Balfin Tidehunter, we can compare it with Razorfan, and technically Razorfan has better stats than this one, right? The only upside about this card is that it is 2 beasts instead of just 1. Razorfan only summons 1 beast. This one is 2, so maybe you might see this in Hunters. No, you're not gonna see this in Hunters, and you're also not gonna see this in Beast Druids as well. It's just too tiny and too small for it to be good. So yeah, not so good. Next, we have Violet Illusionist. It's a 3 mana 4/3 neutral card. During your turn, your hero is immune. Okay, this is a good card, but there's really nothing much to say other than warrior playing Fool's Bane, and you can hit things unlimited times. Fool's Bane is really good. Doomhammer, another one, but I don't see shamans running this card, so maybe not. But rogues would love this card, right? Rogues would love this card. I see this being played in rogue more often than not, simply because rogues need to hit things with her face all the time, and she doesn't have healing. So if you what happens if rogues don't need to heal? Then actually rogues would be really happy with this. Yep. Oh wait, next we have Arcanosmith. It's a 4 mana 3/2 battlecry, summon a 0/5 minion with taunt. Okay, this taunt minion requires a buff to be good. Otherwise, a 0/5 does nothing, alright? If you compare it with the other taunt with a 0/4, you realize the problem. It's not good enough. That's why nobody plays it. At turn 4, most of the shamans and zoos can easily overwhelm the 0/5 and even kill the 3/2. So the stat line is technically a 3/7 for 4 mana, but it's really bad simply because when people kill off the taunt, their minions don't die. So that's not good enough. That's really not good enough. So I don't see this card being played. Score 4 out of 10. Next. Okay, another priest card. Since we already have Purify, we have to deal with this another shitty card for priests. So basically, it's a 4 mana 3/6 Priest of the Feast. Whenever you cast a spell, restore free health to your hero. Well, let's just say that priest spells are really situational. You have D, you have P, you have, okay, maybe Powered Shield. Sometimes you really don't want to anyhowly use your Powered Shield as well. So that's an issue, right? So unlike Water Elemental, whose text effect is when you deal damage to something, you freeze it. It's always relevant. This one, you cannot really fully utilize the card text, and therefore it's worse than Water Elemental, and it's a bad card overall. 5 out of 10. I mean, sure, 6 health is pretty good, but other than that, this card is just not good enough. Silvermoon Portal. It's a 4 mana spell from Paladins, and it gives a minion +2/+2, summon a random 2 cost minion. So you might want to compare it with other 4 drops like Blessing of Kings and Piloted Shredder. Let's just say that Paladins have a lot of good 4 drops out there. Why would Paladins want to play this card instead? And the answer is no, they won't want to. Simply because you have things like None May Steal Our Secrets, what's it called? True Silver Champion. They even have Blessing of Kings, which is significantly better than this one, trust me. And if you want to compare it with the removed card Piloted Shredder, it summons a 2 cost minion as well. And sure, Piloted Shredder kind of saw play, right? But because nowadays the 2 drops are really bad or really risky, I don't think Silvermoon Portal will be played. So 5 out of 10, Paladins have better 4 drops. Next we have Witchdoctor. It's a 4 mana 3/4 Shaman card, and whenever you cast a spell, summon a random basic totem. So what's a random basic totem? A basic totem is basically the Searing Totem, the Iron Claw, the Air, as well as the the Healing Totem, right? These are the 4 basic ones, and you can only summon basic ones, so technically it's not that good. It kind of synergizes with the Thing from Below, which is the current Shaman OP card, and as well as the Draenei Totem cover, the totems I love, girl, and Thunderbluff Valiant, right? But still don't really see it being played. Sure, it works well with most of the Shaman spells that are being played right now. Totemic Fusion, Maelstrom Portal. Okay, Totemic Fusion, when you play it with Wicked Witchdoctor, Wicked Witchdoctor will summon a totem first before the effect of the spell actually casts. So you might be able to both +1/+1 something, I guess, if you don't have any other totems on the board. So yeah, Maelstrom Portal is actually pretty good as well, and it's a recently introduced card. Hex, Lightning Storm, Elemental Destruction, these are kind of good. And let's just say that when you play Lightning Storm, when an air totem comes out of Wicked Witchdoctor, it's actually really good for your Lightning Storm. Elemental Destruction, not so much, but really you don't really want to play Elemental Destruction with Wicked Witchdoctor because it just dies and your totem dies as well. So maybe not. Let me just remove that. Next, we have Avian Watcher. It's a 5 mana 3/6. It's not a beast, unfortunately, even though it looks like a beast. It looks like the owl, right? But it's not. Battlecry, if you control a secret, gain a +1/+1 and taunt. So Freeze Mage's favorite card right now. I think most of the Freeze Mages would be able to default to this card. It's 5 mana, so it's fast, so-called fast enough, and it's really good. I mean, 4/7 with taunt is decent. A lot of people cannot deal with that, especially the Shamans as well as the Hunters that are playing, right? It's just too bad that Shaman's Doctor 4 can still get rid of it, but it leaves the Doctor 4 with 3 health, which is still good. You can clear it after that. So Hunters are unlikely to play this card, and Control Paladins can probably combo it in easily simply because all of Paladin's secrets are 1 mana, so they can play a 1 mana secret and then play Avian Watcher. It's kind of good if you think of it that way. You have 6 mana 4/7 with taunt is also pretty good. So I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Let's see whether it's playable. Next we have Ironforge Portal. Ironforge Portal is a 5 mana spell for warriors. So basically warriors will be able to gain 4 armor and summon a 4 cost minion. So aggro warriors would rather play Bash, obviously, or not, they would just play the Blackwing Corruptor, 5 mana, right? So I don't see this portal being played by aggro warriors. They just want to go face, they don't like RNG, so it's not a card for them. For control, not so much as well, simply because you see, look at all the 4 drops that can be summoned. Keep of the Grove 2/2, Dreadsteed 1/1, Faceless Shambler 1/1, Summoning Portal, Midnight Drake definitely. It's a 4-1. No, it's a 1-4. And Twilight Drake is a 4-1. All of those are really bad. The only exceptional good ones that I could find was a Water Elemental as well as Frame Reef and Faceless. You don't even want the Priest 4-drop, right? The 3-6 with whenever you cast a spell, get free health. Because you're a warrior, you already have armor. You don't really need to heal when you use your spells. And you don't really use many spells. Your spells are also situational if you're playing warrior. So the random 4-drops are really risky, and I do not see any warriors playing this card, unfortunately, even though the design is really good. Next, we have Menagerie Magician, right? It's a 5 mana 4/4 neutral minion that gives a random friendly beast, dragon, and murloc +2/+2. Alright, I think I've gone through this way too many times right now. It's the same as Zoobot. I'm really not sold on the triple type decks. It's really too unstable and it's just unpredictable. I don't like it. So 3 out of 10, not good enough. You need to have at least 2 minions buffed for it to get full value, not so good. Next, we have Onyx Bishop. It's a 5 mana priest card, another priest card. It's the final priest card of the trio, and let's take a look at to see if it's pretty good. And technically, it actually is pretty good. 5 mana, 3/4, summon a friendly minion that died this game. So a lot of priest decks nowadays run Resurrect and have been really successful, right? So technically, more Resurrects mean more luck. The only problem with this Resurrect thing is that as priest, you really have to play carefully with your minions. You need to keep track of what kind of minions you've already played. So by turn 5, you should have a rough idea of what you played. If you played Doomsayer and played another card, then it might not have been so good. But even then, sometimes Doomsayer can save the day, right? So cards to resurrect for priests are Deathlord, Organized Soul Priest, even Wild Pyromancer, right? That's pretty good. And Injured Blade Master, definitely. Doomsayer, yeah, like I said, save today. So we'll see if priests start to get more value out of his resurrects, because resurrects are the only things that keep it going right now. Next, we have Menagerie Warden. It's a 6 mana 5/5 druid card. Battle cry, choose a friendly beast, summon a copy of it. So basically the dream is to copy the druid of the claw, right? Either the taunt or the charge one is fine, but usually the taunt one, because you do not have 11 mana to combo it. So, but there are other combos to play, right? You can play Adult Grizzly and then play Menagerie Warden, and you copy a free Adult Grizzly, and the next few turns it's just insane if your opponent cannot even clear the board. They can clear a 2/2 Adult Grizzly, but there was another free Adult Grizzly to clear. So maybe Beast Druid are actually making a comeback. I'm not too sold yet because there is no synergy with Fandral Stag Helm for all the Beast Druids, and currently the only good Druid Legendary is Fandral Stag Helm. So it's being played everywhere, and if there's no synergy with Fandral, maybe it still doesn't see play, sadly. Next, we have a Moat Lurker. It's a 6 mana 3/3, and it's really good card. Alright, it's so good. You don't even know. Okay, Battle Cry, destroy a minion, Death Rattle, resummon it. And why do I say this is a good card? Because you can actually even target friendly minions, not just opponent minions, but you can always target friendly minions. So basically, you can get value out of your Death Rattle cards from Moat Lurker. So you play Sylvanas, they don't kill it. You play Moat Lurker and Sylvanas dies, you get the minion from the opponent, and then when Moat Lurker dies, Sylvanas comes back. That's really good, and the flexibility of this card goes both ways, right? If someone plays a Cthulhu and you survive, you play Moat Lurker, you get rid of Cthulhu first, you can kill off your opponents fast. It's really good. Like even if they have a taunt, and taunt is cheat, right? So you want to get rid of it and then just go face, and then just hope that your Moat Lurker doesn't die, right? But even when your Moat Lurker dies, you've already dealt so much damage. You've established a lot, so pretty good. My only problem with this card is that the mana cost is a little bit too high, so it might not be as playable. But because of the design and the endless possibilities of this card, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Next, we have Arcane Giant. This is the final card that was released, and it's one of the better cards. It's an epic, so it should be good. It's a giant. It costs 1 less for each spell you've cast this game. So York Mages have a new Hail Mary card, and it's also possibly playable in York Druids and Hunters, which any deck that can play Yorks around will also play Arcane Giant. No questions asked, simply because of a huge body that can be played at a low mana cost. So we'll have to see. Like giants are really good, right? You see sea giants played in Zoo. You used to see a lot of molten giants played in the handlocks as well as freeze mages. Unfortunately, that got nerfed. Mountain giants I still played in Rhinolocks, so there's that. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of Clockwork Giants simply because of the mana reduction is highly dependent on your opponent's hand. This one, it only depends on how many spells you cast, and you know how many spells you pack into your deck. So it is really good. What else is there? What other giants are out there? Pretty much that's all the giants that I can think of. So yeah, this is one of the better giants. Oh yeah, we still have the Frost Giant, right? The amount of hero powers you use, that's not a good card. And because of the prerequisite is just bad. But this prerequisite is pretty good. Cast 12 spells and you can play this for free. Sign me up. So yeah, but still experimentation is required. We don't know how good this card is gonna be, but off the top of my head, I think it's really good. So yeah, that's all the cards we have for One Night in KARAZHAN. I hope you guys enjoyed the card review. And I'm really excited to start playing the new expansion, which comes out in August the 11th. I hope you guys are also just as excited. And let me know if I made any mistakes in the comments down below. And do subscribe for me to play One Night in KARAZHAN. It will help me a lot, like a lot. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.